And I've been through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot of stuff, with the federal government back in the 80s, the whole steroid controversy. I mean, the divorce, the car wrecks. I've been through so much stuff, but never have I ever been this embarrassed, and never has my world been turned upside down in such a
Look me in the eye, point blank, and you said, I would never break the man code. I would never bang another guy's wife. You ever fuck?
No.
You would not?
No. Man law, brother. The people that know me know I'm not a racist. The WWE fans know me. They know I'm not a racist. It's just a horrible mistake. Should not have been used ever. I should have never used it in the privacy of my friend's home.
And you didn't know you'd been videoed?
No, I had no idea there was a camera set up.
Are you any nearer to knowing who betrayed you?
Let's get into it. Starting a business can be scary, especially if you're doing it on your own, but you don't have to because the perfect partner is waiting for you. Shopify. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps sell at every stage of your business, from launching your shop to hitting 1 million orders. Whether online or in person, Shopify has you covered with the best converting checkout and AI-powered tools. Join the millions growing with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial at shopify.com/Sloan. That's shopify.com/Sloan. There are some things in life that are okay to be a total crapshoot, like trying a new type of milk in your coffee, rolling the dice on a new workout class, or mixing it up with a new takeout spot. But finding the right doctor shouldn't be a total crapshoot. With ZocDoc, it's not. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and instantly book an appointment. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Sloan to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Sloan, ZocDoc.com/Sloan. Summer fun can get expensive, especially when you're saving up for things like concert tickets or vacations. That's why a Chime checking account is perfect for keeping your finances in check while enjoying your summer. Chime offers fee-free overdraft up to $200 with SpotMe and lets you get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Plus, no monthly fees and access to over 60,000 fee-free ATMs. Open your account in minutes at chime.com/Sloan. That's chime.com/Sloan. Chime. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in SpotMe and are subject to monthly limits. Terms and conditions apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. Welcome back to the Let's Get Into It podcast. Back in the day, I fell in love with Hulk Hogan's family through his show, Hogan Knows Best. I mean, they really started the reality TV wave. It started with the Osborne family, then it went to the Hogans, and then we've got like the Kardashians and that mess. Hogan Knows Best was a hit TV series on VH1 involving Hulk Hogan and his family. However, over the years, it's become obvious that actually none of the Hogans know best. This family is the gift that keeps on giving because there is so much scandal and drama associated with them that this show really kind of was their downfall. The Hogan family is an absolute circus with each member playing an intricate part. Brook, the daughter, the struggling actress and singer, Nick, the thrill-seeking racer, Linda, the vindictive cougar, and then Hulk, the pro wrestling icon. Essentially, the Hogan family was the train wreck that America couldn't stop looking at. With each member of the family going their separate ways after Hogan Knows Best, Hulk and his family are trying to move on from their scandals and embarrassments. Hulk has actually found a new wife and trying to stay relevant. I saw him at the RNC convention giving a little speech. Now, the Hogans are under constant watch for the latest piece of juicy gossip, and unfortunately for Hulk, his family continues to deliver. Hulk Hogan's sketchy past, unpleasant rumors, and bizarre family life are simply too odd to overlook and remind us of how eccentric this family really is. I mean, you thought the Chrisleys were crazy? Welcome to Hogan Knows Best. Let's go through some of Hulk Hogan's worst moments, like his tape scandal. A short time after the divorce between Hulk and his wife Linda, he apparently had an intimate encounter with Heather Clem. Well, what's wrong with hooking up with another woman after being divorced? Nothing. But Heather at the time was the wife of his friend Bubba, the love sponge. This is freaky. With Bubba's blessing, Hulk and Heather got it on in Bubba's bedroom, but unknowingly, Hulk had the entire encounter recorded by Bubba. Bubba then sent the clip off to someone else, who then published it for the world to see. Now, of course, this is embarrassing for Hulk Hogan, and he wasn't happy, but he's got a poor way of expressing himself. For example, he's used some really racist remarks in the past. For example, using like the N slur, something that nobody should say, especially not Hulk Hogan.
You've been saying brother for years. Any black guy ever said, yo, you my like you my Hulk?
Well, Booker T used to do that to me on TV.
Yeah.
You know, and every time I pull up YouTube, there's that famous thing that Booker T, when his brother was there, and they're all talking trash. And Booker T goes, "I'm coming for you, Hogan." You, and not goes. I mean, it's like.
Now let's go back to this tape with Heather, because I'm not done talking about it. It's all kind of wrapped together, this like kind of racist theme and this tape being unsealed. And it turns out there were 3 encounters with his best friend's wife. Who knew Hulk Hogan was so freaky? I mean, honestly, I'm not that surprised. Transcripts of Hulk Hogan's 3 tapes with his best friend's wife have been unsealed. The first tape shows Heather Cole giving Hulk Hogan some head to completion while her husband is walking in and out of the room talking to them. The pair then cuddled in bed while Hulk Hogan, who had recently separated from his wife, complains about his home life. So this is more than just an intimate tape. Hulk is upset that he has to live in a hotel while his family is staying at his home. And at one point he tells Heather, "I'm just a dumb country bumpkin. My career is over and this is what I have to look forward to." The second tape, which was released, showed the pair having intimacy, but only for a couple of minutes. It did not last long. It's a 30-minute long clip, but there's only 2 minutes of intercourse. Hulk also talks about his son's teenage girlfriend, saying, "Nick's girlfriend is only 17. She has a killer effing body." Okay now. He continues, "The other night Nick is out and his dogs are playing tug of war with Nick's and his girl's underwear." Then Nick has another girl who is even hotter in Orlando. Then she wants to be the first to get me if I'm divorced. Hot commodity. So he's going for his teenage son's girls? Hulk then shared a story about getting into a fight with 4 men who put a lit cigarette into a gas tank before telling this woman, Heather, that he had just slept with, that she is awesome. Now the third tape also shows them having intercourse, and after, Hulk talks about his children, Nick and Brook, saying that he is concerned for his daughter because she's making some real bad decisions. Well, starts at the top. He said, "I should probably try to head home and try and beat Nick home. There's so much BS in my life. I want to try and not to lose everyone." Then he talks about his daughter, saying, "I feel bad for Brooke that she's making these bad choices, probably because she's in an unstable home and exploited on television." Hulk then proceeds to call himself a jackass, saying that he spent as much as $3 million on his daughter's music career and she has jumped sides on him. So he's a little bit bitter and resentful that she took his money to make music but isn't talking to her. Hulk then proceeds to make a racist comment while talking about his daughter's intimate life, implying that Brooke may have ruined a deal with a record label by sleeping with the owner's son. Wow, that's some real tea.
I know Brook was fucking the black guy's son. Where they've been hanging out. I caught them holding hands together on the tour. They were getting close to the time before I don't give a fuck, okay? I'm not a double standard type guy. I'm a racist to a point. Yeah. You know, fucking. When it comes to nice people, we all are that way.
Racist to a point. Someone in the comments explain below. What is racist to a point? I think you're either racist or you're not racist. I mean, you don't really get to, pick and choose. And I have a feeling that Hulk, if he was around someone of his stature who happened to be black, would he be as casual with the word? Probably not. Now, the man he's talking about is rapper Stax, who is son of Cecil Barker. Brooke and Stax were dating at the time. Hulk seemed to be incredibly upset that his daughter had flipped on him and told him, "F you, dad." Hulk goes on to use racial slurs multiple times while on video. After he leaves, Bubba and Heather discuss the fact that they could blackmail Hulk Hogan with the tape. What friends? Imagine you're hooking up with them and doing these things and... They said, quote, "If we ever did want to retire, all we have to do is use that effing footage of him talking about people." That is so scary because Hulk is like vulnerable talking to these people. Like he's clearly venting to them and relaying this because they have this intimacy and he thinks that it's like built trust. But nope, they're against you too, man. Wow, he's making bad decisions.
What can you tell me about the use of the N-word in one of those tapes?
The use of the N-word goes along with that day when I bottomed out. People that know me know I'm not a racist. Some of my best friends are Afro-American. Just got remarried a few years ago. My minister's Afro-American. I go to a predominantly black church. Some of my best friends, are Afro-American. The people that know me know I'm not a racist. The WWE fans know me. They know I'm not a racist. It's just a horrible mistake. Should not have been used ever. I should have never used it in the privacy of my friend's home. And for that, I'll be eternally sorry, but that's not who I am. I am not a racist.
I love when like racist people are trying to not act racist, so they're using politically correct terminology like African American, which is politically correct, but I know some people, especially in college, were like, you could just say black, like black is okay unless they're identifying from like African descent. But of course now he's so casual with the N slur, and then in this interview he could barely utter the words like African American. Now the comments seem strange from Hulk because he knew that he was being filmed. Now in Heather's deposition played before jurors during a case, she broke down in tears when she described learning that her second encounter with Hulk had been taped. This all went to court and Heather tried to play innocent like she was a victim. Despite making tapes with other men for her hubby's sick kicks, she claims that she had no idea that she was being filmed when she was with Hulk.
Woman at the center of the Hulk Hogan sex tape trial blasted across headlines. Heather Cole looked demure as a videotape of her deposition was played in court, but her testimony was anything but demure as she revealed her husband wanted her to sleep with his best friend Hulk Hogan, whose real name is Terry Bollea.
You eventually had a sexual relation with Mr. Bollea?
Yes.
Hogan listened intently to the sordid details as Heather testified that her shock jock husband, Bubba the Love Sponge, secretly videotaped the encounter with Hogan without her knowledge.
Did you have any idea before the sexual encounter happened that it was going to be filmed?
Now, Heather claims it wasn't until weeks later that her husband had showed her the footage that he had recorded in 2007. She says, quote, at some point after the encounter at our house with Hulk, Bubba, her husband, showed her a tape of herself with Hulk having intimacy. She said, I did not watch it. It was brief. She was asked, what was the response to Bubba when he showed you that? And she claims, Heather says she was upset. She was asked, did you have any idea before the sexual encounter happened that it was going to be filmed? And she said, without hesitation, no. So she's claiming she did not consent to this tape. But I also question, wait, what was that conversation when they were quoted saying they could use this as blackmail? I mean, maybe she was aware that some of them were filmed, but not all of them. Part of me is not fully buying it. Ultimately, Hulk Hogan sued the website which had the video published on it, claiming the company violated his right to privacy. Yet the website argued it was exercising its First Amendment right, claiming that because Hulk Hogan is a public figure, that his intimate life should be public as well, which is something I disagree with. When media outlets like TMZ and The Dirty started reporting on the existence of Hulk Hogan's sex tape in the spring of 2012, Heather said she grew concerned. She said that Bubba, the husband, sent her an email telling her to contact authorities if she knew anything about who might have been leaking info about the tape to the media, which then I question, how did the tape get leaked? She claims she responded. She said she would be happy to cooperate. Please let me know who I need to speak with. She does not want this video out there. Heather denies having anything to do with the video's release. She was asked whether she was concerned that Bubba was trying to profit off of this tape, and she replied saying, I was concerned my personal life would be exposed. She said she felt even more embarrassed when Hulk Hogan started speaking to the press. Quote, I thought that I didn't have anything to say about it. I was very hurt, and I felt or wished that other people involved would behave the same way. She wanted to ignore it and let it go away. Heather actually says that Hulk Hogan kind of loved this situation. She was asked, in your experience, does Hulk Hogan like publicity? And she said, in my opinion, yes. Heather also insisted that Hulk was dead wrong when he went on to the Howard Stern show just days after the video was released on the website. And she said she was relentless in her pursuit of him, saying, I didn't do that. So did Hulk Hogan release it? Like, who dropped it then? I mean, he wouldn't have had the tape, which kind of leaves her ex-husband. I mean, he was quoted saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity as long as they spell your name right. Anyways, here's a clip of Hulk Hogan talking about this scandal with Piers Morgan.
Never. And I've been through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot of stuff, with the federal government, back in the 80s, the whole steroid controversy. I mean, the divorce, the car wrecks. I've been through so much stuff, but never have I ever been this embarrassed, and never has my world been turned upside down in such a fashion. And without knowledge that someone would set a camera. Poor choice. Admit it. It's me. Hey, I did that.
But this is years old, right?
It's years. I've been married 5 years. It's probably 6 years old or more.
And you didn't know you'd been videoed?
No, I had no idea there was a camera set up.
Are you any nearer to knowing who betrayed you?
At this point, no. We've had TMZ.
Yeah.
They're pointing to a very good friend of mine, Bubba the Love Sponge. And to this day, I would have to see the tape to believe that. And I haven't seen the tape because they say there's a verbal reference and on-camera appearance after I'm gone that puts him in the hot seat.
Now, at the end of the day, Hulk Hogan succeeded. He won his lawsuit. And it seemed like everyone was ready to move on from this until more of his racist remarks came out, and we started to hear how he spoke about black people and how he spoke about gay people. In 2015, Hulk Hogan was soured in most fans' eyes as a result of racist comments he made in a leaked sex tape. The scandal ruined Hulk Hogan's reputation in ways that he still never recovered from. As we talked about earlier, Brook was dating a rapper who he had some really nasty words for, words that we have to censor here on these platforms. As more transcripts leaked, Hulk was also caught saying a homophobic slur when discussing a storyline VH1 wanted him to do for his reality show. VH1 wanted him to go back to his childhood home, and Hulk Hogan was less than complimentary to the person who now lived in his old home. On the tapes, Hulk uses a slur to describe the person who was now living in his old house. If it wasn't lost among other controversies, Hulk would have been even more greatly under fire for this statement, but he had bigger fish to fry. Either way, he wasn't happy that there were some gays living in his childhood home, which is kind of hilarious. Now, Hulk tried to apologize for what he had said. He said he was upset over the situation that had happened when he referred to his daughter's then boyfriend as a racist slur. Hulk said he had no idea he was being taped, which doesn't matter. He said, I was at the point where I wanted to harm myself, He described how he sat in his bathroom by himself. His estranged wife and children were gone. He felt alone, which still doesn't make sense on why you would take a racist route. He said, I'm not racist, but I shouldn't have said what I said. I was wrong. I'm embarrassed by it. People need to realize that you inherit things from your environment. He grew up in Tampa, South of Tampa, so he's blaming Tampa and his rough neighborhood with very low income. Okay, blame everyone else. Here's a clip of Hulk Hogan trying to explain himself on his apology tour.
At the end of the day, you realize it was a horrible choice. I am accountable, and any excuse I make, whether it was a rough time in my life or the people that were there were my friends and they kind of like baited me into it, none of that matters. It's just that, you're accountable and be honest.
Now, after this moment, his career was over. He said, I worked for the WWE for almost 30 years off and on, and then all of a sudden, everything I've done my whole career and my whole life was like it never happened. He described the WWE's actions as devastating, but they've also got to protect themselves. He goes on to say, when you're a big star here and you make a mistake, the whole world is going to know. You'll be on the front of every newspaper, every magazine, just like it happened to me. So please be careful because people have cell phones and cameras. So just be careful. I mean, finally, Hulk Hogan is waking up to the new age. The don't get caught implications of Hulk Hogan's speech made a lot of people doubt the sincerity of his apology. He really had warning signs like, avoid the camera phones. It's like, well, just why don't you avoid that rhetoric? Prominent black WWE superstars all denounced his apology, with them all agreeing that Hulk Hogan was sorrier he got caught rather than sorry for what he said. Now, this was a moment where the Hogan family did come together because Brook tried to defend her father in a bizarre way. She posted a poem on Facebook writing, human isn't perfect and perfect is not he, but I can tell you one thing, it's just not what it seems, because if you knew the dad I knew, you'd know he raised me well. He taught me folks are so much more than shades could ever tell. Girl, what? Wait, hold on, reread that one. He taught me folks are so much more than shades could ever tell. What? It's like almost like the I don't see color, but just like the I love. What an artistic approach, Brooke. I'm surprised your album did not take off. Hulk Hogan said she knows me. She's seen me. Kids of every color, nationality. She's seen me interact with these kids through Make-A-Wish, through all these different organizations. Okay, wait, this is so random. For me to vent and be so angry at her, she should have been the one. She should have been the one to throw me out like trash, but instead she showed me more love than anybody. Especially because, I mean, Brooke, her boyfriend at the time was black and her father was calling him these words. I mean, it's difficult to forgive your father for that. Here's a clip of Brooke talking a little bit about her perspective in the situation.
How has he been doing since then? Because that's a difficult thing to go through.
He is definitely a strong individual. I'm telling you, if I had to go through what he did, I don't know if I would have, I probably would have just broken. I told him, I said, people aren't stupid. They have a good gut instinct on who people are. And you're a great dad, and everybody messes up. I always say don't judge someone for sinning differently than you do. But I think it was overall, even like bad things lead to good things. And even though it was a bad time for him, it led to something positive that protects other people in the future.
Now that we're talking about Brooke, let's talk about the relationship that he has with his daughter. It kind of reminds me of Donald Trump and Ivanka Trump? That's her name, right? Yeah, Ivanka Trump, because, well, not me forgetting her name, because I get confused because Ivana's her mom, right? So then Ivanka's the daughter. Anyways, they have a weird relationship. I think people have seen clips before of like Donald Trump saying that he would like sleep with his daughter, that she's like the perfect woman, just kind of like off-kiltered comments. Well, there's the same kind of theme going on here with Hulk Hogan and his daughter. There are some really creepy moments. Name some sleuthing partners who got it done. Watson and Holmes, Cagney and Lacey. Now think about the perfect partner for growing your business. Shopify. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage, from launching your shop to hitting 1 million orders. Whether you're selling sleuthing supplies or mystery merch, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, Shopify's got you covered. Turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout and sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic. What I love about Shopify is how no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and elevate your business. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US and supports millions of entrepreneurs globally. Their extensive resources are there to support your success at every step. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Sloan. Go to shopify.com/Sloan now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Being an adult has its perks. You can eat ice cream for dinner anytime, but it's not all fun and games. You also have to do your taxes and figure out dinner every night and make doctor's appointments. But for that, you've got ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and book instantly. With more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, you can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, and are highly rated by verified patients. Plus, ZocDoc appointments can happen fast, like really fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Sloan to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. If you aren't using this, you've got to get on it and go to ZocDoc.com/Sloan to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Sloan, ZocDoc.com/Sloan. Now, I'm ready to have fun this summer, and it can get expensive, especially when you're budgeting for activities like concert tickets or amusement park passes. I mean, concert tickets have gotten so expensive, but with Chime checking account, you can reach your financial goals while still enjoying your summer. Chime offers free fee overdraft up to $200 with SpotMe and lets you get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. The headache of dealing with overdraft fees is over because with Chime, you could avoid those fees altogether. Join the millions of Chime members making financial progress. Chime offers no monthly fees, access to over 60,000 free ATMs, and even temporary boosts from friends to increase your overdraft limit. Live it up this summer and make progress towards your financial goals with Chime. Open your account in minutes at chime.com/Sloan. That's chime.com/Sloan. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in SpotMe and are subject to monthly limits. Terms and conditions apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. There have been weird rumors about Hulk Hogan and his fixation with his daughter Brook. These started coming up when Brook did a nude photo shoot for PETA, with Hulk attending the gallery opening and even taking pictures with portraits of his naked daughter. Proud father, huh? Other incidents with Hulk and Brook have also come up, with one where Hulk Hogan weirdly is rubbing suntan lotion into Brook's behind, another with Hulk Hogan creepily tweeting his admiration for his daughter's legs. There's also a strange video in 2011 when Hulk and Brook appeared in a homemade video to the Notorious B.I.G. and Def Jam Rapsta. Okay, when Hulk bizarrely flashes his genitals at the camera while standing next to Brook. This can't be real, is it? I mean, I can't believe that he's just gonna flash his ding-a-ling right next to his daughter.
I'll give you good and plenty. You do this part?
I might be able to do a little of that.
He does that.
Now, I don't know how I'm gonna recover from that one, but here is a quick photo of him getting real close and personal with his daughter. Can't even utter the words. Here's a little kissing moment if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, which we are on both. There's a picture of Brook and her dad, just a little peck on the lips, which isn't the worst thing. I mean, people still do that. That's fine. It's just creepier given the context. I mean, here's that tweet where he writes Brook's legs and posts a picture of his daughter's legs, admiring her. Maybe he's just trying to be a sweet dad, but it's coming off a little bit creepy. These rumors should be considered ridiculous, but instances like these mentioned keep them alive. In fact, these rumors were so bad, Brook had to comment on them and deny them. She wrote, "A dad can't be proud of his daughter without sickos making it something it's not. Really? Go back to your farm animals." But to add some more fuel to the fire, you guys know how we like to do it on this podcast. He ended up marrying Jennifer McDaniel, a tall blonde who has a striking resemblance to his daughter Brook. Now, Brook isn't the only one who's had a hard time being Hulk Hogan's daughter. Nick, her brother, has also had his own struggles. Nick Hogan actually got into a car crash, causing this man, John, permanent brain damage. John is a former U.S. Marine and a friend of Hulk Hogan's son, Nick. Thank you for your service. But we all know that Nick Hogan, he likes racing fast cars. He likes to speed, and that could be pretty controversial. I mean, he's had a ton of speeding tickets. On August 26, 2007, Nick was driving Hulk's car, a Toyota Supra, with John in the passenger seat when they were racing down the streets on the way to a local steakhouse. There is no steak good enough to go and race like that. Nick was only 17 at the time. He lost control of the car and crashed, completely destroying the car. John was 22 years old and not wearing a seatbelt. The crash caused him major brain injuries. He suffered permanent brain damage as a result and now needs full-time care for the rest of his life. Nick was charged with several violations and he had 8 months in jail. Hulk actually decided to blame John, the man with permanent brain damage, for the incident, saying, "I don't know what type of person John was or how he got himself into this situation. I know he was pretty aggressive and used to yell at people and do stuff, which is not the time to drag John when your son was at the wheel and it's your car." Deborah, John's mother, provided a statement saying, "The only thing I have to say is that he should be ashamed of himself, knowing that he virtually cost my son's life. He should have been living a life to honor my son, at least never driving recklessly again and potentially harming someone else. He's a grown man and his behavior is disgraceful." There was a lawsuit filed and it ultimately settled for $1.5 million, which does not fix like this guy. He does not come back, and it's really, I mean, accidents like that really scare me. To give you an idea of how serious this accident was, here is a clip of John after he had been injured.
Going home. Today's the big day.
Sean Graziano was released this morning from the James A. Haley Veterans Hospital in Tampa, 2 years after he suffered severe brain damage in a street race crash with Nick Balea, the son of wrestling star Hulk Hogan. Doctors determined that he had improved enough to go home, where he will have 24-hour care.
Now, this did not teach Nick a lesson because he ended up getting arrested in the same city 16 years later. Hulk Hogan's son was arrested and charged with a DUI in Clearwater, Florida. Shout out Clearwater. I used to live around there. A city where he was arrested 16 years ago in a car crash that critically injured a passenger. Nick failed to move over a lane for 3 patrol vehicles conducting a traffic stop, which then led to him getting searched. The sergeant who pulled him over reported that Nick showed signs of impairment and performed poorly on his field sobriety test. I could never drive drunk. Like, I really could not. He, of course, refused to take a breath alcohol content test, and he had a strong odor of alcohol on his breath. His balance was unsteady, and Nick wasn't doing too hot, so you're getting locked up. He was arrested at 1:42 a.m. Too late for me. And he had a misdemeanor charge of driving under the influence. It actually turns out that his father owns a bar in Clearwater called Hogan's Hangout. Maybe he was there getting some free drinks. He actually was with his father, I guess, that night that he was arrested. Hulk said he did not recall seeing his son drinking, but figured that he must have started after he had left for the night. You can see the officer approaching Nick in a body cam video, and he tells him that you almost ran me over, referring to the traffic stop where he did not stop and almost ran over an officer, which would have been a way worse story. Nick said he did not have anything to drink that night, but his passenger that he had with him said they did. So they weren't going to lie. Nick said, "I'm sorry, I was just kissing my girlfriend," but the officer did not appear to buy his story. Now, we've talked about Hulk Hogan, we've talked about Brooke, we've talked about Nick. Let's talk about Linda, his ex-wife, because she's not innocent either. For Linda, age is just a number, and who are we to judge? After their divorce, Linda moved on with her life, and that couldn't have been more apparent when Linda found herself with a blonde hunk. He was only 19 years old, while she's 48 years old. So she really went off to the other side of the spectrum. Of course, Brooke did not like this relationship Linda was in, and she felt like Charlie, the 19-year-old, was using her mom for financial gain and called him a loser and a drug user. To make matters worse for Linda, after the relationship with Charlie ended, he sued her for using their relationship as a means to get him to do work for her. So Charlie was trying to claim that he was employed by Linda or doing work for her free of charge, and now he's trying to backtrack, which sounds like Brooke was right here. But Nick isn't the only one who's had a run-in with the law. Poor Hulk Hogan just can't get away from Linda as the saga continues. Linda was arrested for allegedly driving a vehicle while under the influence. She pled guilty to a DUI after adamantly denying the charges. She was erratically driving and claimed that she had 1 glass of champagne, but it was mixing with her antibiotics. Linda was then sentenced to 3 years of probation. Now, when Linda is not robbing the cradle, she's making accusations against Hulk Hogan even after taking millions away from him. She accuses Hulk of serial cheating and blaming Hulk for throwing away 25 years of marriage. Even more, Linda has written a tell-all book detailing Hulk's alleged unrestrained outbursts and physical abuse at home and homosexual experiences. Interesting.
I gave that man everything. I gave him everything that I had.
Linda Hogan sobs as she relives the betrayal she says she suffered at the hands of her ex, Hulk Hogan.
I was honest. I was a good wife. I was truthful. I never cheated on him.
Linda is speaking out. Linda says their 2007 divorce has scarred her and her children, Brooke and Nick.
My kids to this day are still reeling, but they can't get their feet back on planet Earth. And I can't get my life back on track either. I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Start over now? I'm 57 and, you know, I don't know where I fit in this world anymore. It's just like I got plucked out of my life. I was so happy in that I thought I was happy in, and things just started disintegrating. And
let's talk a little bit about Linda's wild allegations regarding Brutus Beefcake. Hulk allegedly pounded walls, broke furniture, grabbed Linda by the throat, and had a relationship with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That's right, not even Brutus is safe from the train wreck of the Hogans. Now, Hulk has denied these accusations and actually sued Linda for defamation. The accusations in her book scream for attention, and it kept Hulk Hogan's past front and center. So a book about her life was really just a book to drag Hulk. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about a church cult called Scientology that we're not going to actually really name here because YouTube does not like when we talk about them. Retired wrestler Hulk Hogan appears to be increasing his social activity with known Scientologists and reportedly dating a church member. According to a former church member, Aaron Smith Levin, Hulk Hogan has met up with a bunch of these people for lunch in the past week, and it looks like he's being recruited. It also looks like he may have had an interaction with Tom Cruise, who is the top person in this church. I mean, besides the top of the church, the head guy, he's second below. He probably will take it over. Now, this organization has a huge base in Clearwater. I mean, I drove by their church building, whatever you want to call it. It's so ginormous. It's like actually appalling how gigantic it is. And it's huge. So there's a big base out there for Hulk to, I guess, enjoy. Aaron Smith-Levin, a former member, said, first the Hulkster starts dating one of these members. Now he's doing photo ops with other members and participating in businesses that are controlled by this organization. So not a great sign. Aaron is the vice president of the Aftermath Foundation, which helps former church members get back on their feet. Remember that this organization makes you isolate yourself from your family. A lot of these members don't have employment history, credit card history, bank information, a driver's license, or even formal education. So of course, like Hulk Hogan, the celebrities are different than that, but the standard members are pretty much set up for failure, so they can't leave. It looks like Sky Daly is the member of the church who Hulk Hogan was seen around. Both of her parents are members and they live in Clearwater, so it looks like he's the recent recruit.
He just married into a very high-level generational Scientology family. And what all these articles are asking is, who's Sky Daly? But what they're not saying is that she was born into Scientology and both her parents have achieved OT8, the highest level of Scientology's spiritual chart. And honestly, there's some debate as to whether Sky was the reason that Hulk Hogan's last marriage ended, because he coupled up and got remarried again very quickly.
So there is a lot of scandal there, and it gets really dark, and I don't even want to get any deeper because I'm scared of these people. We've actually talked about Vince before on this channel, but back in the 90s, he was on trial for distributing steroids to these men to make them stronger. Hulk Hogan has always denied ever taking these type of drugs, although he changed his tune when he was facing real consequences. He admitted that he had used them in the past, even though he tried to say that he had never used them before. He could have gotten in legal trouble if he lied, because he would be lying under prosecution. Now, this usage was fairly common for people in his field, but it definitely was something he did not want to admit to. It changed how people looked at him. There was also another scandal I want to talk about, which involved a moment where Hulk Hogan was choking someone out on TV, where it kind of crossed a line. I mean, wrestling's kind of fake. I think we know this, but he took it to a new level. He actually choked out a man named Richard on live TV. In the build up to the first ever WrestleMania, just 5 days before the event, Hulk and Mr. T made an appearance on a talk show hosted by Richard Belzer called Hot Properties. Now, Richard's attitude was that wrestling was all fake, which was a definite no-no back in the day. Hulk and Mr. T resisted at first, but then he wouldn't let it go, so Hulk decided to go in. This was just days before the biggest wrestling event of all time, and Hulk was trying to sell the pay-per-view, so he couldn't just expose the business on live TV, could he? Hulk Hogan legitimately choked him out, and he dropped limp on the floor. He actually ended up getting sued for this for $5 million in personal injury. The lawsuit was settled out of court, and the story has gone on to become a legend in the wrestling history.
This incident is from a 1985 episode of Hot Properties, hosted by the late Richard Belzer. Tension arose when Richard used a word that left Mr. T puzzled.
Well, you use a big word. See, Mr. T.
Antithetical means opposite. Forgive me.
Right. I'm a street brother. That's why the kids.
Well, I'm from the street too.
That's why the kids.
I learned that word myself.
This miscommunication didn't sit right with Hulk Hogan.
The reason you were so cocky is because Mr. T promised me he wouldn't lay a hand on anybody, even though you look like a mugger.
To lighten the mood, they suggested they do a demonstration for the audience, which Richard agreed, without knowing what was involved.
Now, the first thing you need to know about amateur wrestling,
yes,
or professional wrestling, or submission holds, you just tell me, brother, when you want him to quit squealing, okay?
All right.
It's called a front chin lock. How about it, T?
Keep him like that for a little while.
Because
if an incident like that happened today, it would be super scandalous. I mean, just look at what happened between Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars. Everyone was talking about that, and that was just a slap. So he legitimately choked this man into unconsciousness. Though this didn't really affect Hulk Hogan. Actually, Richard got more backlash for trying to, I guess, downplay what wrestling really is. So it kind of made Hulk who he is as a performer. You don't play around with Hulk Hogan. And after learning his history and this family's history, I wouldn't want to play around with any of these people. So I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a long time. It's fascinating to me, and it's so complicated, confusing. So interesting. Very interesting. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in next week's episode. Bye, guys.